In today's show, the coach gives his mid-season report card.
Put the footy away, surf's up.
Riley Knight thinks he's a good surfer.
And the technology that's kicking goals.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Optus. I'm Mark Pykey.
And I'm Alana Smith. And Mark, the bye is a good chance for players, coaches and even fans to relax and enjoy a few days off.
Yes, and also to reflect on the team's performance.
Yeah, so how does Don Pyke rate the season so far?
The unpredictability of round one strikes again. Take that any day of the week or any Friday night of the week, and that's what they've done. Geelong by 4 goals over Adelaide.
And even when we were sitting at 1 and 3, I don't think the group, obviously we were probably dented a little bit in terms of that wasn't what we, if you like, envisaged at the start of the season to be sitting there like that. But I don't think the capacity or the uncertainty about it, that probably gets tested, but it never really went away. It's easy to focus on the outcomes, which is the results, the wins and losses, but majority of the time it's around the process, and we weren't executing our plan or our process to the level we needed to against what is a tough competition.
So Adelaide go into the 4.
We obviously have a good belief that we're capable of playing strong footy to test anyone in the comp. We've got to do it. There's one thing believing it, the other thing is to do it, and that's probably what has been great the last couple of weeks against both GWS and Richmond, is we've been able to come out and do that, which just gives you some validation for we're on the right path.
Going back, Himmelberg takes it on the chance, will play on, marches into the open goal. Adelaide kick 2 in a minute to retake the lead.
We've got a number of guys who are in the sample, and we've got some depth in the sample now of some guys who are playing good footy. Our sample team's performing really well, and as I said to our development coaches, our role as coaches is to basically make everyone on our list better year in, year out, and that's a real challenge, because it's about challenging the player, supporting the player, and they're all at different stages of their development.
Look at the co-captains. How massive have they been?
We're fortunate to have 2 fantastic, men who are, have got great capacity from a leadership viewpoint and great love for the footy club. And obviously with Rory signing on last year, committing basically his career to our footy club, and with Tex, who's been here since he was 16, 17, the boy from Broken Hill, it just made sense to me. And both those guys, they're great mates. They're able to share what is a growing load, if you like, for a captaincy role in the AFL.
Tex Walker had a bad moment a few weeks ago. He's been brilliant since. Rory Sloane, there was a doubt with the hamstring. He was super.
I tend not to get too engaged with what's happening out in the landscape and the opinion space, because our job is to deal with the facts as we know them and deal with what was in front of us. Some of the decisions we've made, which again, and as I keep saying to people, all the decisions are made in the best interest of the team. What's going to give us the best chance to win a game of footy on the weekend? Because that's in essence my obligation to the rest of the playing group, is to go, we need to pick a side we think's capable of winning.
Okay, we've heard from the coach. Mark, what's your take on the Crows after 13 rounds?
Yeah, I think they're in a pretty good spot at the moment in terms of win-losses. 8 and 5 is a pretty good position. You'd look back and you look at the Hawthorn game and maybe North Melbourne and you think you could have done a little bit better, but by and large I think they'd be pretty comfortable. All
right, so who's really impressed you so far?
Well, Alex Keith's been the one that's been outstanding. He's replaced Tom Doedee seamlessly, so that's been a great find for the club. I've loved Brad Crouch. He's played every game and just looked fantastic. And also Riley O'Brien, only had 2 games leading into this year, and he just seems to get better and better the more football he plays.
Indeed. Thanks very much, Mark. Plenty of reasons to be optimistic in the run home. Well, no doubt some of the boys are enjoying the break by catching a few waves. From all reports, Ben Davis leads the surfing squad, which includes Paul Hunter, Rory Sloane, Cam Ellis-Yeoman and Hugh Greenwood. Thanks to Revolution Roofing. They explain how surfing is a welcome escape from their football routine.
Best surfers, top 4. I probably got to include Huey. He's 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Flip of the coin between me and Sloaney, and then Benny Davis is probably easily the best. Yeah, he's Maroubra boy, pretty good. Thinks they're the best surfer. Riley Knight thinks he's a good surfer. Yeah, he always talks about coming out, but yeah, he's trash. Bit of a wave snob. Like when I go home, I'll always surf, pretty much surf every day. But over here, I'm picky because it's a 40-minute drive to get to the surf here, as opposed to growing up with a 2-minute drive down to Maroubra Beach. Some days we'd spend like 6 to 9 hours in the water, just going out, coming back in, eating lunch, going back out again.
Surfing's actually like, for the people that want to get into surfing, that are like a couple of my mates over the years, and I try and teach them, they go, this is actually really hard. Like the paddling fitness and getting back out, catching a wave, like, and doing, especially when you're doing turns as well on your legs and then paddling back out, it's actually a really hard fitness. So I think aerobically it helps a lot with running, and especially having to hold your breath going onto waves and stuff, you know, build lung capacity. Yeah, I think it's a great fitness to have for footy, so I think aerobic wise it helps.
Surfing is certainly a popular pastime for many players across the AFL. Okay, when we return, the machine that's helping to prevent some of football's most troubling injuries.
Revolutionary new technology has allowed the Crows to develop a much improved injury prevention regime this year. Known as KangaTech, it measures a player's physical condition and their capacity to cope with strenuous training loads. The Crows medical and science specialist Steve Saunders developed the technology, which players use weekly and even on game day.
For Crows players, KangaTech is a game changer. Just ask Paul Seedsman.
My strength numbers have increased significantly. It's coincided with more consistent football and more continuity.
His experience is echoed by elite athletes around the world, with KangaTech now used by teams in the NBA, NHL, EPL and Champions League. The Crows and other AFL clubs use it to measure the strengths and weaknesses of each player, particularly through the hips, thighs, knees and ankles.
But we can take those numbers and we can build a better program, an individualised program for the athlete that's more likely to help his performance and reduce injury risk.
Over 10 years of KangaTech development, Steve Saunders has collected a wealth of information.
We've got a great database across a numerous number of sports now and across a number of different player types that let us make pretty clear decisions about when we think an athlete is ready to play or ready to train.
So it's all to do with the groins, glutes, just everything around that lower back, everything to do through that trunk to be able to keep everything sort of stable and keep it all strong.
Crows players have readily embraced the machine because it can also help reduce pain.
So we've got some players, for example, at the moment that might have a chronic grumbly tendinopathy or tendinitis, and pre-game they might have a certain amount of pain with squatting or hopping, and the players now know that they've got assigned doses or interventions on the tech that can take that pain away.
Since joining the Crows in a full-time role, Steve has seen significant improvement.
Individualise the players' weights and conditioning programs around their profiles. So with the information at hand, we've been able to tailor the athletes' programs to their needs much better this year, I think.
Now, Don Pike's next challenger on the golf course is someone who refuses to hang up his footy boots despite a heavy workload. Opposition leader Peter Malinauskas still plays for Adelaide University in the Amateur League and has a recent injury to prove it. With the help of Optus, let's see if he has good form on the fairway.
Hi Ron, and welcome again to the Glenelg Golf Club for the Optus One Hole Challenge, and I'm joined today by the leader of the opposition, Peter Malinauskas. So welcome along.
Thanks Don, good to be here.
Now it is cold, it's a windy, cold afternoon here, but we'll get on to the golf in a minute. Are you a golfer, first and foremost?
Very, very, very average golfer. I've never been a member anywhere.
All right, so we've got the 16th here at Glenelg. We've got about 110 metres into about 30 kilometres an hour with a temperature that's dropping as we speak.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing.
That's right.
There we go. Hang on there, don't hit the bank. There you go, that's good.
That'll do. There we go. That's very nice.
Oh, that's up there.
That is healthy.
Now, Peter, as we wander down here to the green, you're also a footballer and still at the ripe old age of 38 playing, I believe.
Yes, very average, I've got to say. It's I'm not particularly proud of the fact that I'm playing Division C4 footy or whatever it did for it this year, but it's a great release. So.
Yeah, and is there any plans for retirement, or are you you're just going to keep going? Because you're a forward, aren't you?
I am a forward.
And I hear you've kicked a few bags in recent times.
A few. I struggled a bit this year through injury, but no, I've been planning my retirement ever since the year 2012.
And the body's holding up all right?
It has been not too bad for the last few seasons, but this year I've got the decent whack, so I'm carrying 3 cracked ribs at the moment, so that's my excuse for a few weeks off.
Your role as leader of opposition, how's that going? You've been in politics now for, what is it, 6, 7 years?
No, I've been in Parliament for about 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And been leader of the opposition for the last 12 months. Okay. And I'm actually really enjoying it. It's a tough job, but it's a rare privilege to be able to lead a group of people and a party that you really believe in.
Well, it's got a chance.
Oh, Don. That's a very healthy par.
Healthy par. We'll finish this one off. Bang! There we go. Good finish. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for joining me.
I really enjoyed it.
All the best for the rest of the season with the amateur side and for the politics.
Likewise with yourself.
Appreciate that.
Enjoy.
Cheers.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
Now, Ben Hudson is one of football's journeymen. Originally recruited by Adelaide as a 24-year-old in 2003, the mobile ruckman later switched to the Bulldogs, then the Lions and finally Collingwood. Now he's back at Brisbane as the ruck and midfield coach, and that's where we caught up with him thanks to Flight Centre.
Adelaide gave me my first chance at AFL footy, so I'll forever be indebted to them. It was a great experience, and obviously Adelaide's a little bit different than Brisbane in they're a little bit more fanatical about their football. That was a bit of a shock to the system. I think I always remember my first 2 weeks of pre-season training. I think I lost about 5-6 kilos. I was actually living with Rhett Bigland's parents, and all I did was eat, sleep, go to training. So it was a bit of a shock, but eventually I sort of became accustomed to life as a professional footballer.
Injury up there, Tim. Big injury, I think. It's Hudson, I think.
I did a knee in my end of my second year, so I missed a few finals campaigns there.
And this could well be a season-defining moment for the Adelaide Crows.
Probably the highlights were the showdowns and winning those. They're probably, obviously, those in Adelaide know how parochial everyone is, how much it means to both Adelaide and Port Adelaide supporters. So to win those was, you could always walk around town with a bit of a smile on your face, but to see what it meant to players, to staff, but also the supporters of Adelaide it was an awesome experience. I can't speak highly enough of all clubs I've been at, and obviously now I'm still at Brisbane, so I'll keep riding that train as long as I can.
Well, Ben Hudson also spent time as Collingwood's ruck coach and helped in the development of Brodie Grundy. Stay with us when Mark returns. It's the turn of Crows big man Riley O'Brien to face Brodie Smith.
Welcome back. As we've learned already on the Crows show, Riley O'Brien is head and shoulders above his teammates when it comes to study. He's part-time at university, eyeing a career in medicine. But can he score one over Brodie Smith when it comes to more basic knowledge? With the help of Thomas Farms, let's find out.
This week I'm joined by Riley O'Brien. Let's see how much you know about Rob. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure.
Sorry. I'm asking you the questions. All right, first question. Where am I from and what was my under-18s club?
Victoria, under-18s club.
Yep, in the TAC Cup. The footy factory.
The Falcons.
The other footy factory, the Calder Cannons.
Calder Cannons.
Where I played with Rory Atkins. Next question. Who is my housemate?
Jake Kelly.
Jake Kelly, yeah.
Have you got any good stories about Jake at home?
No PJ stories. No, he's all right to live with. He's lacks a bit of hygiene, but apart from that, he's all right. Where do I go to uni and what do I study?
Uni SA.
Flinders Uni.
And you'd study some sort of biomechanics science or something ridiculous.
Medical science.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not too bad.
Bit of a brain.
Next question. What is my dog's breed and dog's name?
I know it's a Frenchie.
Yep.
Because your missus had one, she made you get one.
Not quite. Yeah.
It's like Cedric or something. I don't know the actual.
Cedric Diggory. No, it's not Cedric. It's Chester.
Chester. That's
so
close.
It's close. You got the first letter right.
What did you get in school again? Speaking of uni, what was your score at school?
I was asking the questions, but my score was 99.65. I've told you that a few times. You should know by now.
I just wanted the people to know.
And that's it. That's all the questions I got for you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for joining me.
Done.
Perseverance has really paid off for Riley. Great to see. Now, Adelaide returns from the bye to take on Geelong at the Cattery. What a game that'll be next Friday night. Then it's the second showdown of 2019, and of course, it's a home game, so make sure you buy your tickets at ticketek.com.au. OK, we heard earlier from Don Pike with his report card on the Crows. Time now for the Advertiser's Reece Homfray to give his analysis.
Well, at 8-5, the Crows have rescued their season from threatening to get out of control at 1-3, from their worst loss of the season against North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium to possibly their best win of the year against the Giants here at Adelaide Oval 2 weeks ago. Now that we're at the mid-season bye, it gives us a chance to take stock of what's to come, and top 4 should be the aim at a minimum, and from there it's all about timing. Get your run right going into September and anything's possible. If you were to hold the best and fairest count now, you'd be pretty hard to go past Alex Keith as the club champion, which is surprising given that he went into the season not even sure of his spot in the side. Brad Crouch is another one who's been outstanding. He's played every game this year after not playing at all in 2018. He's just reminded everyone how important he is to Adelaide's midfield. But the biggest surprise packet for me has been ruckman Riley O'Brien. When Sam Jacobs went down in Sydney in round 2, Crows fans would have feared the worst. But O'Brien has proven that he's not only up to the level, he's excelling, and he's alleviating Crows fans' concerns that if Jacobs went down, they were in trouble. The Crows resume with question marks over the next 2 games, Geelong away and then a showdown. But then they have a very winnable month, which could set them up for the run to September.
Thanks, Reece. Still to come, we'll meet the young Crow who used to play with the Sharks, then the Stingrays.
Miles Pykey couldn't have been happier when he was picked up by the Crows in the 2016 draft. Not only was he fulfilling his AFL dream, but he was joining Adelaide with his best mate, Jordan Gallucci. 3 years on, Miles is finding it a little harder than Jordan to secure a regular place in the senior side. Thanks to Toyota Good for Footy, he recalls his early years, first with the Sorrento Sharks and then the Dandenong Stingrays.
Pykey, goal. First goal in his AFL career. Just gives a little celebration. Duck, you're up with all the modern things. What's that? That's a shark, I think.
Started all my junior ranks down at Sorrento Footy Club. Grew up down there, went to school down there. Got all my mates still down there. So was there from under 10s till 16s. And my brother Lee's had massive influence on me and my footy career. He coached us under 16s, where I played with all my best mates and down at Sorrento, and then we ended up winning the flag. We went undefeated all year, won the flag. He's always been there to tell me when I've had my best day or when I've had my worst day. Sometimes he's got some good hints, sometimes not so good, so I've got to pick and choose when to listen to him. Come up through Dandenong Stingrays, got an invite there for bottom age under 18s. Absolutely loved my time there. Got some guys that I'm still mates with now, still really close with the coaches that I had at the time. I come in a little bit lazy and a little bit chubby, so they had to really roughen out some edges. So they were fantastic with me in my development when I went through there.
Well, the 2019 Toyota Good for Footy raffle is open with the aim of raising $1 million for grassroots clubs across Australia. Do your part to support local footy and buy a ticket. Go to toyota.com.au/AFL raffle and start raising some serious cash for local clubs. And each week, Toyota provides a merchandise pack for our Crow in the Crowd. As our camera moved around Adelaide Oval's Southern Plaza, it spotted you. If you recognise yourself, contact the club by 5 p.m. Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and that prize will be yours.
That's about all we have time for in today's show, brought to you by Optus. Remember to keep an eye on @TheCrows on Twitter for all the latest news.
And check out the club's social media accounts. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
And be sure to watch our other show, Footy Plus, next Friday night, immediately following the Geelong game.
Well, thanks for your company today, and we look forward to joining you next Sunday
at 11:30 on 7. We'll see you then.
Bye for now.